increasing intimacy in marriage. That's what we want to focus on for the next few minutes. Greetings, friend. It's a fact, and I think it's something we mentioned in our previous podcast, that a lack of intimacy is one of the leading causes or leading reasons for divorce. And when we talk about intimacy, we're not focusing on one aspect in a relationship. It just encompasses the whole relationship. Intimacy, in my view, it's the atmosphere. It pervades all aspects in a relationship. Whatever you do in a relationship, in marriage, it somehow impacts on intimacy. How you communicate. You can communicate. If you communicate well, communicate effectively, that will show also in the levels of intimacy. If you are struggling in the area of conflict resolution, you're always fighting, you're always at each other, that's going to lower the levels of intimacy. So whatever you do, if you go for a mall and you go together, of course, that increases intimacy. If you're working in the garden together, that increases intimacy. But I think the most important thing is we've got to have, whatever we do, we must have an eye on intimacy. We need to keep asking ourselves, how will this fare on the side of intimacy? Are we improving intimacy? So remember, intimacy is the goal. That's what separates any relationship to other. We're not just roommates. We're not just strangers. There's the levels of intimacy actually speak to the whole context of marriage. Now, for example, there are cultures that are romantic. People know that the French are romantic and stuff like that. But being romantic is a part of intimacy. We can talk about you have got to be romantic, but usually when you say being romantic, we're referring to perfumes and birthdays and gifts. But intimacy is deeper than just romance. It goes beyond just being the sexual act itself. You can have sexual without intimacy. I mean, people can have sex without intimacy. Let me not get into that. But sex within that whole context of intimacy is beautiful. We're not even talking about public display of affection where people hold hands in public. It goes beyond that. Of course, it will have that. It might have that, but it goes beyond that. So intimacy, that there's one word we need to remember when we think about intimacy. We need to think balance. Then you're going to have intimacy. There must be balance. There must be balance between being a role mate and being a soulmate. There must be balance between being apart and being together. Apartness and togetherness. Role mate and soulmate. Let me just explain. By role mate, I mean role mate, role, R-O-L-E, are those things you do in marriage, like taking out the trash, like cleaning the garage, like cleaning the car, some traditional roles, like washing the dishes, like cooking. Those are roles. Now, the fact that you do that doesn't necessarily mean that you are intimate. Marriage also needs the other part, the soulmate part. So it's not just cleaning of the dishes and then cleaning of the house and then doing the washing and then says, then we intimate. Yes, that's good. But then we need being friends. We need to buy each other's gifts. We need to perfumes. There's flowers. There's being friendly. There's being together, taking a walk and all those things. That's soulmate. But if you're going to focus only on buying perfumes and opening the doors and buying flowers and not take out the trash, you're going to affect intimacy as well. So you're not going to be taken seriously when you bring all the perfumes and stuff like that, when you can't take out the trash. So taking out the trash and bringing in the flowers, if you balance those two, then for me, that's the context for intimacy, where we can have dirty hands to make sure that things happen. We can't keep looking at each other. We can't just keep opening doors and buying perfumes. We've got to go work so that we can be able to buy perfumes. In other words, you become romantic even when you are wearing your overall and working, especially when you are also friendly. You don't just limit it and then just say, as long as I work and I provide, that's all. What else do you need? But there's also another part, the apartness and the being apart and being together. If you balance that also, you create high levels of intimacy. Because being together all the time will destroy it, suffocate, will destroy intimacy. Where you can't even go, your partner is always like in your face. That's not intimacy. Togetherness forever, like being together. I think even in heaven we'll have time to be alone, and because we are individuals. But there's also the need to be apart, this apartness. But if you keep a balance, if you're always away, then that will affect intimacy. If you're always together, that also will have a problem, a bearing on intimacy. It is creating a balance, being out, the me and the us, the I and the you, the working in the garden, the bringing of the perfume. Bring a balance there. That's reality. You know, if you watch all these films, there's these movies, Hollywood, and they're acting out home and family. You just see one side kissing and you think that is it. You don't see anyone taking out trash, then waking up and cleaning up and painting. That's life. That's what happens in marriage. Some people think of only kissing and kissing. No, there's kissing, but also there's also making sure that the house is cleaned and other things that need to be done in the house. And that, beloved, it creates intimacy. God bless you now as you work on your intimacy. Remember, intimacy can be increased, and you can increase yours as well. Thank you.
The Marriage and Relationship Podcast was brought to you by Dr. Papu. Dr. Papu is a devout Christian leader, an inspirational speaker, and an experienced pastor who has worked with couples for the last 35 years in his ministry. You can record and submit your questions to Dr. Papu by following this link, www.anchor.fm/Dr. J. Papu. If you'd like to have private consultations or counseling sessions, please send your email to drpapuonline@yahoo.com. That's DRPAPUONLINE@yahoo.com.